the questions that we seek to answer in human rights tend to be about patterns and comparisons. So did violence increase after a certain regime came into power? Or was a particular ethnic group targeted for violence? And if all we have is the convenience sample, maybe a quick thought experiment about what human rights documentation looks like on the ground. You think about what you do when you're collecting evidence of human rights violations. You're doing interviews, perhaps you're looking up information, doing various things to collect evidence. When does that process become the most difficult? When the conflict is the most extreme, when it's not safe to go outside, when the power is out, and so forth. And so we see in many cases that when the violence is at its worst, the documentation of the violence can decrease or stay flat in any given source, right? So they knew about this issue, and they were concerned because, again, in human rights, the question when we're talking about accountability is about what actually happened, not just what was documented, right? And so when they kind of discovered that the way they had collected data enabled this series of methods called multiple systems estimation, what that allows you to do is, using the patterns of overlaps from observed data sources, it allows you to make estimates about the number of incidents that occurred but were not documented.